Barrier Island's at risk of disappearing. The sea level is rising, meaning a large hurricane could bring catastrophic storm surge.
NBC2 investigator Rachel Polansky found out how Southwest Florida history is helping researchers determine which areas are at risk the most.
500 years ago, these Native Americans were piling shells across Southwest Florida, constructing an empire.
The Calusa Native Americans benefited greatly from Estero Bay and the productivity of Estero Bay.
And this shell mound site, that is now called Mound Key at Estero Bay, is believed to have been the epicenter of the Calusa Kingdom. So why does that matter to you? Well, the Calusa were here a lot longer than we've been here in Southwest Florida. Their footprint is deeper.
Over those millennia, those thousands of years, they went through naturally warming and cooling periods, and those natural warming and cooling periods influenced sea level rise or sea level lowering, and that made either the bay more productive or less productive.
The Calusa's livelihood was closely tied to the climate and the rate that sea level was rising. Dr. Michael Savarese is an FGCU professor. Consider him the expert's expert on sea level rise. He says what happened to the Calusa is not so different from what's happening now in 2018.
Today, as a modern society, we depend on our coast and our bays for our tourism-based economy.
Dr. Savarese took us to Mound Key, where the average rate of sea level rise is 3 millimeters per year.
So there wasn't any time where the landscape was more inundated than it is today.
So it's the highest that it's ever been?
Right, and going up as we speak.
If sea level rises too quickly, barrier islands cannot form. And if the barrier islands are already there, like they are now,
the storms on top of sea level rise destroy the barrier island faster than nature can repair it.
And hurricanes only make matters worse.
You put storms on top of that high sea level, and the barrier islands get destroyed, they get overtopped, they get washed away.
But hold on, it's not all gloom and doom. Collier County recently got a $1 million grant from NOAA to look at how Collier will be impacted by these rising sea level rates. Collier County Commissioner Penny Taylor tells me that she's taking this study very seriously.
This study will be very helpful because it'll be able to pinpoint areas where if this storm comes in, you're more vulnerable here than you are here. And that's very important.
So a few years ago, people scoffed at climate change and sea level rise. What changed?
I think, when you have hurricanes like we've been having, it's a wake-up call. The reality that the climate is changing and that we do have to prepare for the changes of the level of the seawater if you're along the coastline is very important.
And it's not just Collier County commissioners who are interested in studying sea level rise. Senator Kathleen Passidomo would also like to see a regional collaboration between leaders from Lee, Collier, Charlotte, Glades, and Hendry counties.
Oftentimes, the legislature is accused of violating home rule and those kind of things. So if we work together with local governments, then we can come up with a plan.
This isn't a new idea. Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, and Monroe counties have already formed a compact to address climate-related challenges and solutions.
This is not a Democrat-Republican issue. There are real problems that are facing us, no matter what you call it. It's time to have the conversation.
A conversation the Calusa never had, but one that Dr. Savarese says we must.
If you're a human today and you're depending upon tourism economy to bring in sport fishermen or beachgoers, that sea level rise is influencing the economic vitality of the region now, just like it was then.
Senator Passidomo tells me there has already been one meeting to gauge interest in a Southwest Florida regional approach to sea level rise challenges and solutions. And she says there will be another meeting in the coming months. For the NBC2 Investigators Tonight, I'm Rachel Polansky.